The reason I'm here at the interview is I'd really like to get a job from you. No.
Well, you shouldn't show up to a job interview with a hoodie there, Mike.
Hey, don't. I mean, I'm allowed to choose whatever I want to wear.
What?
It's my choice. So, how are you doing this morning, Brent?
I'm doing pretty darn good.
Yeah,
How was your night last night? You were at a pretty cool event, weren't you?
it was a really cool event. It was pretty interesting, and yeah, it was good. The thing that I'm realizing is I've really gotten into my old man morning routine or evening routine, not even morning, evening routine, where, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to start winding down about, 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15 might be a little bit late. When you
Yeah.
roll back into the house at 9:30, like literally get into the house at 9:30, pushing 9:40, then you start to realize, ooh, man, I don't do the late thing as much anymore. And
Everything
uh,
hurts.
then you just kind of you wake up in the morning and you're like, huh, okay, maybe you know what, I'm gonna take that extra 45 minutes. And the worst part, not the worst part, but to add to it, I picked up some new tech yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And I'm always testing different stuff.
What'd you get?
Actually, let me get Slack going here. The
Oh yeah.
Just so that we've got everybody in there, because we asked people to go to Slack, and if you
Yeah, we
want to
did.
join the
We
Slack
did.
channel, we should actually be in the Slack channel. But if you want to join the Slack channel, just send Brent or me a message, and we'll figure out. We'll get you in there. So I picked up a continuous glucose monitor.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with what those are?
No.
Okay, so what it does is it kind of in the name, it monitors your glucose consistently throughout for as long as you have them on. And I think the battery life on these things is about 14 days. So I've got two of them. I'm not diabetic. I'm not. As far as I know, I'm not pre-diabetic. Typically, that's who'll get diagnosed or get
Everybody's pre-diabetic, Mike. It's
I
just the
you
way
know
it
what, I guess that's true. Everybody is pre-diabetic. I'm gonna keep this in the Jan 20 Slack channel only because I'm not moving fast enough to turn it to the January 21st. So
I was just gonna say, well, don't we need to create a new channel or something?
we do. We'll get there. So that'll be all the setup stuff. But anyhow, so then I felt like shit. I just want to go get this thing working and get this thing connected and all of that other kind of stuff. So now I've got that thing connected to me. And what I'm trying to do, trying to get there's all this data available to us. And we still walk around, and I'm not the first one to say this. This has been said by many people in the spirit of the Marie Antoinette quote, there's nothing new except what has been forgotten, and the biblical one, which is there's nothing new under the sun. The data has been out there for a while. We have all of this data, but we're starved for insight. And I want to get an idea of what happens when I eat different things or drink different things or do all of that kind of stuff to just really get things more in tune. So, in addition to being late, not getting into the evening routine, I decided to hook up some new technology. And yeah, so that's just where I am this morning. Uh, yep. Yeah. So, welcome to my world.
And we all love being a part of it every single morning,
There you
and
go.
feeling your pain, feeling your pain.
So,
Uh,
can I
uh,
tell you, actually, so in-person event last night, there are people that get together still locally at events.
like in person, you can see, touch, feel, breathe the same air.
They were all there, and there were people who flew in for the event too. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so The other thing I realized is living out in Gilbert, having to go to Central Phoenix at 5 o'clock in the afternoon is not my aura ring. So getting and it's cool. Brent is changing his background. So speaking of the technology, my ring tells me when we're at while we're there, it's like you've had a more stressful day than usual. And I laughed with Jen when I showed her the notification. She said, "What's been stressful?" I said, "I had to drive all the way from Gilbert here into Central Phoenix." The so anyway, enough about me. Let's move into the show. What's with all the backgrounds? Like you've got
Sorry, these
your
are all of the images that my new agentic AI agent creates for each one of the story blocks. So I
okay.
figured, since I'm not using Ecamm, so that we don't stream to a stream to a stream, I'll take the images that it creates for me for each segment, and I'll use it as a background.
Very cool. So
Actually,
is
my
it
original idea was to put it in as into Keynote slides, export it as a PDF and file, and then share that screen, full screen, and thumb through and have you switch it to a screen share to do the 4-box thing. And then I can switch through the images, but then I figured, Mike's not going to be up for doing some crazy editing this morning. So
no? In fact, Mike woke up at is, is this third person? Mike woke up
5:59.
yeah, 5 it was 5:33. So here we are though.
Well, I did make some changes to our news script today, so
All right, cool. Let's jump into it.
let's.
Then we also have stay tuned. We have breaking news.
Well,
See,
is that a teaser? Is that what you're trying to go for?
no, are you saying I didn't? So, hey, stay tuned. We have breaking news about the impact. The impact, it goes above and beyond the cost of bringing in technology. There's other things to consider. But
Oh
wait,
yes,
there's
okay,
more.
gotcha. Well, yeah, we'll hit up that story for sure. My mind was so clear at 2 a.m. this morning, oddly enough. I had so many great ideas for today's show, and then I fell back asleep for like an hour and woke up and it was all gone. So just
That's
had to
awesome.
get up and get coffee and try to refresh it, but it didn't happen. But anyways, it is fun to have a new script this morning. So the only morning show, instead of having the script say professional, I switched professional to hilarious. So here we go. We'll see how hilarious today's script is according to AI. Good morning, learning nerds, instructional designers, and everyone currently pretending to watch a compliance video while scrolling TikTok. It is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. And if you're still using SCORM 1.2, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room.
Ha!
I'm your host, and
Wait,
here's what's
actually,
happening in the world of
can
knowing
you get
stuff.
some of those sound effects?
Here's
I
what's
almost said
happening
out
in the
loud,
world
"Hey,
of
I got
knowing
that one."
stuff. First up, breaking news in HR tech. Workday has decided that artificial intelligence is so 2025, they are officially pivoting to agentic AI. According to reports released this week, Workday's new platform, Illuminate, isn't just summarizing your emails anymore, it's moving to autonomous process execution. What does that mean? It means the AI is now doing the work. Specifically, they've launched a frontline agent for retail and hospitality that handles shift swaps, labor laws, and staffing shortages automatically. They claim it reduces manager admin time by 90%. That's right, 90% of the manager's job is gone. If you are a middle manager, look to your left, look to your right. One of you is now software. For L&D, this is the signal we've been waiting for. The Skills Cloud is now mapping capabilities to these agents. We are no longer training people to do the tasks. We are training people to manage the agents doing the tasks. Update your learning objectives accordingly. Mike, was that hilarious for you?
I laughed. I did.
I think your microphone swapped or something.
Oh, is it? All right, give me.
All of a sudden, you got really quiet.
I might have been doing that just for emphasis. No, it looks like I've got the right mic on.
Oh, okay.
Still quiet or
No, now you're better.
okay. The yeah, well, I mean, I laughed. I think this is the beauty of small inside jokes that just kind of carry on because someone would be like, well, 1.2, cool. Squirm 1.2. What's wrong with that? I'm not even on Squirm. I don't even know if I have Squirm in my L&D system or whatever.
What is Squirm?
Yeah. Who is Squirm? Why is Squirm? Yeah. We've got to.
We talked about this yesterday. I think this is kind of the same story. They called it something. Somebody HR. They created an HR. Diana HR was part of yesterday's news, where it was an AI agent that was specific to the AI function or specific to the HR function, right?
Yep.
So apparently, Workday has also done the same thing.
Yeah.
So 90% of a manager's job is gone. How does that feel?
Well, Craig had a pretty good comment in here. He goes, weren't managers managing people doing the tasks anyway?
I know, but now instead of 3 managers, there's only 1 managing all of the AI agents doing the tasks. I think
people won't. The sad part is people will not get Office space. Like the jokes in Office Space just won't land.
No.
I've got 3 bosses.
I know. So here's the deal. We're going to have to, a whole new genre of movies is going to have to be created for new memes and whatnot, because you're right. Now that I think about it, all that stuff, all those inside jokes,
gone,
just wiped out. There's going to be pre-AI and post-AI humor. Well, this story didn't land, so let's go to the second story.
Well, here's the thing about it. Like, what's kind of interesting, and I think this is the thing about I think what we're starting to see with the prompts and the source of information and whatever. The tone of the messages is repeating over and or the theme of the messages seems to be repeating over and over again. Like there's some patterns that we're seeing over and over again. And it might feel like this is the novelty of some of this stuff. It might feel like breaking news the first time where you're like, oh, dude, did you see that? And went out there and got all this stuff. But then after a while, you're like, hi, Ned.
Yeah. To that point, as I was, kind of prepping for the day and sorting through my brain, scrolling through the LinkedIn feeds, it's funny. I think everybody must be using the same AI to get the stories they're going to be writing about for the day, because all of a sudden now every single post this morning at least seemed to be talking about the shift from what we talked about yesterday, using AI to create courses and instead helping the AI to be a system, to creating that system. I mean, everybody's been saying it differently and using different words, but basically what we talked about yesterday is all of a sudden filling the streams. And I thought that was interesting. It must be popping up as part of it. It's kind of like some of the posts were like, if you're still using AI to, create an image for your e-learning course, or Write a script for the audio in your e-learning course or whatever. You're so old school with AI. It's time to start, blah, 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 creating something else.
Yeah.
So
The
it's interesting how that whole thing works. And the one thing that actually hit me right away too was also the fact that I think we need to give people a little grace when we're writing all of these things. I mean, I think there's um, as early adopters, we get out in front of these things, and in a few months, whatever, other people will start to do it. And we seem to be, and I don't understand why, but in the L&D industry, there's a lot of subtle shaming that goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Hold on, like judging? You think the people get a little judgy?
I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just a way of showing domain expertise
Yeah.
and feeling influential. If
Have you
you
ever been
demand that a whole entire industry does something that you recommend,
especially when you're not actually doing the work? It's kinda cool to tell people how to do the work when you're not doing the work. Like, this is how you should do it. That's one of my favorite ones.
hi,
Yeah.
Wendy. Good morning.
I'm, working on,
Yeah, you get that centered up there, Mike. Come on.
I
You
am
can't go
I'm
to events anymore. This is just ridiculous.
yeah,
Speaking of
it's
shaming
not
people,
acceptable. The standard has been lost. The standard has been lost. Um, yeah, the, yeah,
okay,
it's academic.
it is. Well, okay, so let's move on to tech and innovation. If you think Silicon Valley is the center of the AI learning universe, you are looking at the wrong map. A massive new report released today by Google and Ipsos titled Our Life with AI shows that Nigeria is absolutely crushing the rest of the world in AI adoption for learning. 93% of Nigerian adults are using AI to learn complex topics compared to a global average of just 74. They are 26% above the global baseline. While we are here in the US arguing about whether ChatGPT is cheating, Nigeria is using it to upskill an entire generation of entrepreneurs. 80% of Nigerians are using AI to explore career changes, nearly double the global average.
Wow.
The takeaway: if your global learning strategy treats Africa as an afterthought, you are officially behind the curve. The future of self directed AI augmented learning is happening in Lagos, not Palo Alto.
Worked with,
Oh, sorry, I forgot to change my background. There's the
I
tech story background.
worked with a guy back when I was over doing the security stuff with CybSafe, Acidic, uh, Sadiq. He said, so the way that you know how to say, Lagos is it's laid back in Lagos. So they're like laid back there, Watertown. Because I kept saying Lagos, and he's like, "No, Lagos is the other place. It's Lagos." So there you go, Brent. I will, as a wannabe L&D professional, I will tell you how to pronounce things. See what I did there?
I did, yes.
You didn't laugh. You didn't laugh. Like I laughed at your joke.
Sorry, I was reading. Craig was interrupting me in the comments. Dang it!
Oh yeah, Craig. So this is another thing is we kind of work through here. Can we get the sources to drop? So maybe
Yes, we
you
can
you
get
can
the
export.
sources.
You can do
I actually added that to the agent. I said,
nice.
please tell me where you got the information, because previously when I would run this gem, it wouldn't give me the links, and it still just gives me. Well, here I'll show you what it gives me.
I like Wendy's thing here. My breaking news is called Breaking L&D News Served with a Side of Sunshine.
I love that.
The that is what you're going to get a lot of sunshine here. Okay, cool.
So there you go. I just need to remember to paste those in every time, and then people can go find out for themselves or read it ahead of time or something like that. Maybe I publish it ahead of time or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Back in the day, I took a course at ASU around critical thinking, and it was in the psychology department. And one of the I'm happy that Craig asked about the source stuff, because I think it's awesome that Tech Point Africa is the one reporting on Nigeria being the center of the AI universe here, which is kind of like Absorb reporting on whatever it was that they did around human performance the other day, like, or excuse me, at least being sourced. Anyhow.
Hey, listen, you know what? We are, if nothing, but we are a transparent news organization here at the Live with Brent and Mike every morning. We will give it to you straight. We'll tell you exactly where our AI is getting all of our information for us from.
No fluff. And actually, we might poke fun at it throughout the process.
You know what? This is working out loud and meta working out loud. So it's kind of fun. So we were at the Nigeria one. That's the HR tech.
I bet we're going to talk about something to do with manufacturing. Either skills first or manufacturing.
Bar chart. Well, we got to get the human and culture story going first. Now for a human and culture story, we have a death in the family. Please bow your heads for the course catalog. And then it says, and then in parentheses, it says anchor pauses for dramatic silence.
That's awesome. Because I bet if you talk to a librarian and said something about the Dewey Decimal System, they'd be like, not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
It's like Monty Python.
Oh, wait.
Sorry. Bring out your dead.
Training Magazine's 2026 Trends Report just dropped, and it confirms that what we've suspected. The era of the one-size-fits-all learning library is over. By the end of this year, hyper-personalization is the standard. Employees expect Netflix, and we've been giving them the DMV. The report states that successful L&D teams in 2026 are shifting from content first to skills first. We aren't building courses anymore. We are building modular architectures. If you have a 60-minute e-learning module on communication skills in your LMS right now, delete it, burn it, replace it with a 3-minute micro simulation on negotiating with a vendor. That is the world we live in.
Thank you, Wendy.
I don't think everybody's going to go out and start deleting courses from the course catalog.
No.
Leave the books on the shelf. It's okay.
Yeah. The children love the books.
They love the books, but
Elf reference.
Yes. A tribe of asparagus that are sensitive about the smell of their pee.
It is.
Do we even know where to go with this story? Didn't we already?
I think it's good. I mean, again, it reinforces that piece that I was the point that I was attempting to get out there, which is, hey, we're seeing these things happen over and over again, which means Okay, maybe the speed that which we start to look at breaking news, we don't have to wait for the paper to show up tomorrow morning, right? Like we have to understand the news. We've got access to it when
Yeah.
we want it, as we want it, as we go through. So the funny part about it, though, like the most interesting thing that I heard in the news today is that when you were looking at as you were going through your LinkedIn feed, you started to see some of the same things that we were talking about yesterday, which means that the AI is serving up the same kind of thing. So as more and more people start to use AI to create their content and have their
Yeah.
breaking ideas for content, whatever, those who have a unique perspective, or at least a thought, on their own, will actually start to rise to the top, and we'll just have to go through the noise that we're going through for a period of time, which gets into that whole kinda like this too shall pass. I don't think any of this is passing, though. I think the cool part about what's going on right now is we're seeing more and more people learn and iterate at scale,
Yeah.
and also be manipulated by the algorithms, which
Right.
is also interesting because I'm out there trying to figure out, what's the stuff to make the YouTube channel go, or what's the stuff to make to really start to stand out on X, or like what I'm playing around with Instagram a little bit more right now. Like, what's the stuff? How does it need to be different? And the other part is, why does it really need to be different? Because we're still talking about humans on the other end. So basically, it needs to be
Yeah.
different because of the vehicle that I'm attempting to drive, that through, which is kinda interesting. That's good. Wendy, I love the library too. We had an amazing library when we lived up in Maple Valley, Washington. The coolest li Such a cool library. It was, you're just like cut out of the woods. So when you'd be sitting in a chair reading whatever it is, or working on your laptop, or whatever you were doing, you could just look out the windows and you were just surrounded by trees. It just felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. Um, yeah, the library is a very, very important
As a
place.
as a as a physical place, it has changed quite a bit, but yeah, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But um, you kind of, yeah,
Now
I'm.
I'm wondering about the rabbit hole. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
I know. All of a sudden, my brain
hanging out of
shifted into a million
computers so
different
that they're
gears, and
all
the cogs got locked up for a second there. Sorry.
it was like, well, Brent started glitching. What we
Totally.
didn't tell you what we didn't tell you is Brent has decided to take a break. He's just plugged his AI avatar in. This is all.
It's not me anymore.
I think they're talking about, I'm just looking at Craig's comment here. Um, I think they're talking more about the AI output is going to start being posted and used, and it is going to start getting absorbed by AI, and it ends up distorting its own responses. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you learn at scale from yourself, what are you really doing?
Mm. Reinforcing your own learning.
Yeah, like, I mean, just watch Tom Hanks on Castaway. He's out on the island, he's, like, all by himself, like, there's a limited number of experiences that you can have, right? And then you start to interpret those things a little bit differently, and who knows,
I
maybe you start to hallucinate.
Yeah. I remember what I was gonna say, but I kinda didn't wanna go down the rabbit hole, but we're watching people learn about AI through experimentation out loud, and while we promote working out loud, I see it all the time from our industry, from all sorts of people. I believe there's even been a book written about working out loud and sharing what you know, but then by the same industry, perhaps not the same people, there is the smackdown, and everybody calls all the stuff that they're seeing slop. And I just have a very different take on it. I see it as everybody experimenting with AI and sharing their experiments and sharing the things that they think are cool and that they think are interesting that AI has created for them or helped them create, and they're putting it out there. And will it be the same in a week, in a month? No, there will be something new. Everybody will get bored with what was created and what was done. But I mean, it's how we all learn. It's how, as a global community, it, it's the only way we move forward. And I don't think we're used to this massive learning together at scale experience. I just don't think we are. We're still, despite what social media being around since the 2000s, I just don't. I still don't think we're used to it yet. And now AI just kind of changes that up. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but at one of the O'Reilly conferences, there's a skateboarder um, who spoke, who was up on stage, and he talked about like how just the evolution of learning tricks. So what you do, you'd be out there skating and you'd hear about what somebody did, and then somebody go out and they try to do it right, and it just would take a while for it to pass along. Like it'd go from the West Coast to East Coast, or go from Southern California to Northern California, or whatever. But it would transfer. It would just be like this story, the lore of who is able to do this thing. Now something happens, sits on YouTube in minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And so it can go from there to Legos in a snap of a finger. So the speed at which information is able to move, right, is
yeah,
has changed completely. And now the speed at which information is going to be able to be interpreted or guided as they work through that interpretation increases even faster, because the
right.
machines are constantly learning. And it's really, that's why I think this is a pretty cool time to be alive. I mean, there's some pretty interesting time periods where I would have loved to have just experienced it, like just to see what was going on in the world, not what I read in a history book about what was going on in the world, but like just experience it for a period of time. And like we're in an awesome period of time. Like think about what
Yeah,
making the transition from a pager to uh, a phone that you could carry around with a case, to uh, you know, a computer in your hand, right?
yeah.
Like that kind of experience is pretty powerful. And what are we? We're still just a bunch of like hairless monkeys walking around the planet. So anyway, yeah,
Seems like just
Greg,
yesterday.
that's who it was. It was Rodney Mullins, yeah, who was out there. And if you can do a search for that thing that he did on YouTube, you'll find it. I know O'Reilly makes his videos public, but yeah, it's just kind of cool to think about it in that context, and then start to think about what's next. Like heck, we started this. I said I plugged some device into my system to check glucose. You know, at some point, are we just going to implant the kung fu?
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go.
Every day, a little tiny bit of blood will be sucked out, analyzed. You'll get a report, and every moment, everything that you do.
Literally,
So,
that's the
yeah,
beauty of continuous. Like so we talk about continuous learning, right? Here's a really good example of what continuous means. Um, the uh, um, like this is constantly monitoring. Like right now I'm 127, which kind of, so it's interesting. I said, hey, why does it spike in the morning? And it's because, well, the way that your liver operates. But this is a continuous readout
how does it
of
know your what is? How does it know that?
science and math and technology and all the stuff that's been deprioritized in school, this stuff called STEM. Like I don't know about the minutia, Brian. I'm just trying to figure out how to make better choices. There's a but think about it, that's a continuous monitor of something, or continuous heart rate monitor, or continuous again, heart rate monitor, blood oxygen level. Like this is continuous.
Is
We
it
talk about continuous
say that?
learning. We talk about continuous learning, but then we think it only happens in the classroom, or we think that it only happens in these events. And again, and Brent, what is it? Training is a
Training is an event, learning is a process. Technology supports them both, and performance improvement is our ultimate goal.
and so there, like, what is continuous, and then how can you use these tools to help improve that continuous experience?
Yeah, somebody so
Yes,
um
yes, Wendy.
is that
Yeah.
ah so there one of the things that got me thinking about doing an industry specific segment, which I'm going to do here in a second, was
Yeah.
actually triggered by the CEO or the founder of DeepHow. I don't
Okay.
know if you've been following them. A guy I used to work with is their sales director, and got reconnected with him when he started working for DeepHow. And so just listening and seeing what they're doing, um, it's their training AI first training tool. They now have a version that is specifically created for just the pharmaceutical industry and what the needs are of pharmaceutical manufacturing, creation, and whatnot. And that was sort of the light bulb moment for me that, oh, we are finally here where I've always been trying to tell people with context, and AI now giving us the ability um, to think very specifically about the industry, because training that works in one industry may, like the technology used, like the solution you create for one particular industry may not be the best solution that's going to work in another industry. But we've always had that one size fits all mentality, especially when it comes to LMSs, authoring tools, what a course looks like, how somebody takes a course, how somebody consumes the content has always been assumed a one size fits all. And it was never the instructional designer's fault. It was just us maximizing the technology that was available. We've all known that it needs to be unique for each audience, each context, all that kind of stuff. But it was always cost prohibitive.
Why does it need to be?
In order to be more effective and useful. So, like, if you've got a bunch of people that are working out in the field, and the only thing your training solution can be viewed on or used is on an actual computer or laptop,
Yeah.
they're they're not going to stop at a Circle K every 10 minutes, and between stops, visits, whatever, and go through an e-learning course or whatnot. But what they will do is they'll just pull their phone out of their pocket if they have a question about something and search Google, ask Grok, whatever, and find out and get the information they need, or share what it is that they're doing with their colleagues. Hey, look at this problem I ran into. This is how I solved it.
Yeah.
So that whole communal aspect of sharing and learning, and all via media that's being captured and collected and put into a database of some sort. The AI then is consuming all of that content and all of that data and all of that information and repurposing it and recreating it in ways that is cleaner and more readily available for the next person that needs it.
Okay.
So I did for this particular segment, and I asked the agent, instead of like saying, "Go find me something for each one of these things that I listed," I just asked it to um, pick the most interesting story that is very specific to a particular industry. And I said, like, here are some options that you can choose from, but don't limit yourself to just these industries. And so today it found manufacturing. So, and finally, our industry focus, manufacturing. Deloitte just released their 2026 manufacturing industry outlook. And folks, it's getting sci fi in the factory. They are predicting a massive surge in physical AI. We aren't just talking about software agents, we are talking about robotic dogs and humanoids traversing the production floor. 22% of manufacturers plan to use autonomous mobile robots this year. For L&D, this is a nightmare and a dream. How do you train a human to work alongside a robot that thinks for itself? The new safety training isn't don't touch the hot metal. It's how to collaborate with a Unitree B2 robot dog without hurting its feelings. Oh, wait, I forgot to change my background. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Manufacturing.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I can talk a little bit about the manufacturing thing because there was a moment in time where I went down the rabbit hole, and this was 2 years ago. So when I left Domino and was trying to figure out what to do next, what the next thing was I wanted to go after, approach,
Yeah.
whatever. Manufacturing was a big deal, and I started looking into it a little bit. And there is a term called manufacturing 4.0. So
Industry 4.0, right?
Industry 4.0, that's what it was. Yes. And so what that future looks like, and it was funny because this was kind of I started looking into it and seeing all of the things that were going to be happening. Cybersecurity played a big part in it because of all of the technology and all that kind of stuff. And but at the time, even though AI was out, it hadn't really popped yet. But now I think it really has. There's still a lot of quote unquote manufacturing facilities out there that are manual processes, fully manual, still using old school tools, old school machinery, all that kind of stuff. And that was the part that was kind of shocking to me, because if you listen to the news, if you read the AI, if you listen to us, and you get the sense that everything is high tech, everything's got robot dogs in a week, and it's all going to be there. And no, it doesn't work like that. And I think that's a reality that we need to kind of settle into and help people understand that, again, we've been here before. We've watched this hype cycle happen, and none of this stuff happens overnight, no matter how exciting it sounds.
Well, it's super easy. Like I think and we had talked a little bit about this earlier on the critical thinking side of things. Review the source, follow the money. Review the source, follow the money. Just ask these questions, a couple of questions. Who pulled together the information? What is their objective? Like, what are they ultimately trying to accomplish? And who will actually make money as a result of this? Who's in a position to benefit? So if we know source, we know objective, and we know benefit, then you can start to determine, oh, okay, is this written with a lens of something else? One of my favorite books, fictional books to read, and I'll read it periodically. I just kind of go back to it every once in a while. Is Crichton's Jurassic Park. Now, it's also a movie that I appreciate, and one of the things that they talk about in there from an entrepreneur perspective is the flea circus, and just creating this kind of amplified experience of, oh yeah, I can see the fleas moving, and can you see the fleas, and you're looking at that wonder through the eyes of a kid. Well, be careful. Are we watching a flea circus, or are we actually watching a circus, or are we part of the circus? And if you're not watching the circus, like, where are you involved? The story I like to tell around this, and every once in a while I'll throw the image up on either on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, but it's a bunch of kids on a school bus, like a little cartoon, like not an animation, it's like a comic,
Yeah.
picture, pencil drawn kind of image of a school bus. And just remember, there are people who have seen a bus, like they're aware the buses exist. There are people who have actually gotten on a bus and taken a ride on a bus. There are people who drive buses. There are people who fix buses, and there are people who build buses. They are not the same. Be careful who you put in what role when thinking about getting certain work done. And that's where I'm optimistic that the shift is going to be back to asking basic questions, listening, and then asking the follow-up question as we work to get better at kind of understanding what's happening in the current operating environment around us. On the manufacturing side of things, I think manufacturing is super interesting, especially as we work to try to bring more manufacturing here into back into the States. And there is definitely an opportunity for people who have been successful in other industries and other operating environments to work in manufacturing and help manufacturing move to what's next. Like, we've talked about the whole innovation and creativity thing before, and shared the story about the foot crank and the sail. When you bring new blood and new experience into other environments and learn about what they're doing and then ask questions, you can start to get people to think a little bit differently about how they might go through their work, which is where I think there's a large opportunity on the manufacturing side of things. I've been fortunate enough to work with a couple of manufacturers, both contract manufacturers and large manufacturers. And that's a segment that's ripe for innovation, because not a lot of people want to go work in a plant. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, I mean, we talked about, heck, just having to get up and drive someplace instead of take the 30-foot walk from the bedroom to the office. Like, what? Yeah, we talk about these jobs being
You
taken
having to
away.
commute, it would drive you nuts. Like, what's a
I
commute?
stopped commuting back in 2003, other than for a short period of time where we opened up the office at Skysong,
Oh
and I would
yeah.
do it every day, and it was brutal. Like, I don't like the waste of time. So then I got into the habit of calling people while I was driving, and Brent's one of the people I would call periodically whenever I had to drive around. Anyway, squirrel, deep squirrel, deep rabbit hole squirrel.
I'd answer the phone and go, Mike, are you driving?
There you go. Brent, we saw. So I like the format. I like the industry stuff. I'm kind of wondering in the I'd like to hear from Wendy and Craig. You guys think that ad is in there? Anybody else listening as you go through this? Um, uh, feedback. Your feedback is how we continue to learn and continue to iterate. In the absence of feedback, it is very hard to iterate. And
Yeah, the one thing the agent didn't add is the list of the 10 stories on the cutting room floor. It did the producer's note at the end says, I found 10 other stories, including one about neuroarchitecture in classrooms and another about ed tech interoperability becoming non-negotiable. But honestly, robot dogs won.
one. That's awesome. Everybody likes robots. Everybody likes dogs. Well, everybody likes dogs. I think we're going to try to figure out, do we like robot dogs?
Yeah. So yeah, and then it gave me the prompts to create the images, but yeah, no list. It didn't actually print the list that I asked it to. In previous ones, it would actually create the list. That's the interesting thing. Like, the first time I tested this new agent, it did give me links to the references and to the articles, right? And this time, it just listed them out and actually put them in their own little section called references. So it doesn't follow the same pattern every single time, which is something I've noticed.
It's a lot of times I have to with a couple of the G, and I don't. I've only got one agent that I've really kind of have done anything with that have not, not enough to to share a real solid experience. I think but I do have a couple of GPTs, single task um
Yeah.
GPTs that have a specific job to be done, and the number of times I have to remind it, follow the original instructions is absolutely insane. You're like, look, I know, little bot dude, you are, or chick, you're just trying to be creative and innovative and help me see that things could be better. I have a job. You are the thing that's doing the job. Do the job. And then, and
And then
then,
it doesn't. It like I could sit like here's what I would like probably what I would do is because it doesn't, I tell it too. I say, actually create the images. Don't wait. Don't make me ask you to. Just go ahead and take the prompts that you create and generate the dang images. Launch Nano Banana and create the images. And it still doesn't. It still asks me at the end, would you like me to create the images? And I'm like, yes, I told you to in the freaking instructions.
the one of the things you might want to do, like, I wonder if you went through and said, hey, how can I, what prompt can I put together so that the
How can I
instructions are
convince you to
created?
create these fucking images?
Yeah, like literally. Yeah. Why are you making it so difficult?
You
I
have
don't know, Dave.
complete autonomy to go ahead and create these images. You do not have to ask me.
It's awesome.
And then please, for all that is good and holy, make the list of 10 freaking stories that you dropped on the cutting room floor.
I'm not asking you to think and make decisions on which ones should be should be or shouldn't be in here. I want the list.
Give me the dang list. It's critical.
See, so I think that's the other thing. Like, just continue to test and have fun and share as you're
Right.
going
Well, and
through it.
that's why we're doing our special show in February. If we can find people who are specialists in a particular platform of sorts, and we will give everybody a task or a challenge, and we will do it live and work out loud.
Yes.
So, um, February is going to be here faster than we think. So let's get on this, people.
All right, and then I am going to make a special request tomorrow. I would like to go deep on that post because I think there's some interesting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Dang it, you should have reminded me.
So Craig, it's also it's funny. Like with this, you do know that you can add that prompt and even tell it to use the instruction going forward. Yes, but sometimes Craig, the little bastard doesn't listen.
It still doesn't do
It
it.
just keeps going. Like it's it's, and I can tell you just based on experience. Like I see it. Just look at I've shared the story too much, but I'll share it one more another time. But look at the images on the Find My Catalyst site and how they've evolved from the first ones that we've did to where we are now. I'm struggling to get it to go back to the original version. Like it's and at some point I'll reprioritize it and I'll start
Yeah.
over.
Quit
But
thinking and being creative, and
it's adding so much more detail because it thinks this is artificial general intelligence, right? So it's moving ahead. It's like, look, I know you piece of wetware Hume person. You don't think that this is what you need, but this is what you need, and you'll come along at some point in time. No, I want simple. Like, give me give me give me is it Lucy's version of Jingle Bells, not Schroeder playing away. Like, all right. So Brent, where can people find you?
oh, ahead, check us out on LinkedIn and just follow us on all and the YouTubes too. Why not? Get us on the YouTubes.
All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel, 6 o'clock in the morning Mountain, 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Um, reel it in. I don't know if Craig's talking to the AI or he's talking to me. So, um,
Tighten it up,
we'll
you
leave it.
two.
We'll leave it at that. I'll see you. See you tomorrow. We'll go into that. We'll go into that thread, which is kind of interesting, and it might have just been AI slop, but we'll go into that tomorrow.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
You and I
see
need
you.
to get in-ear monitors, and so Craig can just yell at us in the in-ear monitors.
No, he's just going to do it he's just going to do it in the Slack and take screenshots of us and throw it in there too, to have those just go through the feed while I'm trying to figure out how can I add more text in there to scroll it up a little bit faster.
Well, he
So
has
yeah,
to entertain himself.
yeah, well, that's good. That's good. It's better than the cat typing. So, all right.
All right, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you.